tick.
To help you out even more, we've brought in our very own makeup artist, Jane Ann, who's going to give us the lowdown on how we can achieve different makeup trends in our daily lives, you guys. So Jane, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So we are talking makeup trends today. Now, there are a whole lot of trends that are out there. We're talking contouring, the strobing, the wing liner. What would you say is your favorite trend?
I'd have to say contouring and highlighting has been a favorite trend of mine for quite a while, but obviously within reason, you know, those extreme videos where you've contoured your whole face and highlighted everything, it doesn't work day to day.
Okay,
but
cool.
In the right place, it's a nice thing to accentuate your features.
Okay, sweet. So let's talk makeup faux pas. It's not easy doing your own makeup, right? We can all agree on that. But what would you say are some of the most common mistakes that you see people making?
I'd have to say one of my biggest pet peeves is incorrect foundation colors.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've dressed so beautifully and everything is so beautiful, and then you just see the face and it's all I can focus on is the
like
foundation.
a floating head.
Yeah, it's a completely different color to the body, and it's distracting.
Yeah.
That, and I'd have to say the crazy eyebrows, where people have tried these YouTube videos that have gone, you know, this thick eyebrows that are in trend at the moment. You know, you've got to work with what you've got. You can't go and draw in these thick caterpillars.
I always say you have to, makeup is supposed to accentuate the way that you look, not change who you are.
Exactly.
So let's actually get into our demos. What are the different trends that we're working on today?
Okay, so today on Lysander, we're just going to talk about filling in your brows, how to do it sort of naturally. She's got a great shape.
Yes.
So I am just using an eyeshadow that's about a shade or two darker than her own hair color. And we're going in little sweeping strokes.
Okay.
So we're going 2/3 up, 1/3 down. So we're just working with her actual shape. And you want to go a little bit heavier with the product towards the end of the brow.
Okay.
The hair is a little bit more sparse there, so you're going to want to add a little bit more color so that it doesn't sort of fade away to nothing.
Okay, so Jane, you actually started behind the scenes, so this is a process. So let's actually check out some of those pictures. But Jane, you mentioned that the shadow is a shade or two darker.
Yes.
How do you actually pick the shade that's appropriate for your face?
Okay, so you need to just have a look at your own hair color as well as the hair color on your brows.
Okay.
And use that as your guiding post. So obviously there's some girls that are super blonde that like that dark dramatic eyebrow. But if you're going, you know, with what's natural, look at your roots of your hair. That's always a good guide as to which direction you want to go in. Less hair, you might need to go a little bit darker. If you've got like a full brow already, you maybe just want to fill in the gaps and not really use a lot of product.
Okay, so everything in moderation, right?
Everything in moderation is
cool. Okay, so how do you highlight the brows and make sure that they pop and look good?
Okay, so basically we've done the fill now, and I'm just going to use a highlighter, so 1 to 2 shades lighter than her skin tone.
Okay.
And you're going to apply it sort of just underneath the brow. And just again, blend. You don't want any solid lines. So we're just cleaning up the product that we filled in here. And you can go directly underneath the brow. Yeah. You can add a little bit on this front edge of your brow just to soften that. You know, you don't want angry eyebrows.
Okay, cool.
And then again, you can clean up at the top. It depends how much makeup you want to put on. You don't have to do it at the top. I'd say if you're going to pick one or the other, pick the bottom to clean up.
Okay.
Just underneath, highlight this brow bone.
Okay, since you mentioned that we don't have to do the top, what's the mistake that everyone makes on top?
Oh. What do you mean with
like
the concealer?
Yeah, where it looks like the eyebrows are floating.
It's possibly that they may be using the color that they're using is just too light in comparison to their own skin, and it's just not blended enough. That sometimes results in that.
Okay,
that
so
kind
it's all
of
about choosing the right shade and also blending.
Yes, blending is important.
So let's move on to our next demo. Which trend are we working on now, Jane?
Okay, so with Neuron, we're going to be doing some contouring. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't really want to go super crazy in your day-to-day kind of goings. If you are doing something else, you can. Okay. I've chosen this shade, so you can see it's a good couple of shades darker than what Neuron's actual skin color is. Okay. And I'm using a little, a finer brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to go sort of down the cheekbone. If you're unsure of where to go, you want to go sort of just below that cheekbone. So if you suck your cheeks in, like a fish. That always just gives a little bit of a guide of where to go. Don't go lower than your nose, just flick it up onto the cheek once you've done it. And again, blend.
Okay, so what does this do for the face?
Contouring adds angles to the face. It's going to add depth to the face. Some people have a rounder face, so you can use that to sort of make it look a little bit thinner. It's just adding more dimension to the face and accentuating angles that you'd like to emphasize.
Okay, nice.
You can also, you can also go underneath the jawline.
Okay.
Just right underneath there, and it just, again, blending.
So does that give you that sharper jawline?
It is, especially in photos or TV kind of things where you want it to kind of look very clean and slim. That's going to kind of emphasize that, that jawline.
Lovely. I think we should move on to our third trend for today. Okay, so what's the trend that we're working with this time?
Okay, so to tender, we're talking about a little bit of a cat's eye, smoky eye, which we've done a little bit of a combo today. So you can see I've used a little bit of bronze just to add a little bit of fun color. And then in the corners, I've taken some black eyeshadow. And basically, that's kind of what the cat's eye is extending the eye makeup and sort of creating a point at the end of it. So. My tip would be to do it first, do your eyes first, get it over and done with, make as much mess as you want because it is a bit of a messy process using those dark shades. And then wipe it off and continue with that afterwards. It makes it a lot easier to create the angles that you want and get the results that you want as well.
Okay, cool. So the tip is with the cat eye to start with it before you do any of your makeup.
Whenever I do a cat eye, that's the first thing I do.
Okay, sweet. Thank you so much, Jane. I'm sure that our viewers have taken a lot from everything that you've said.
Hectic.